Last summer, I interviewed 8 philosophy students from across North America to get their experience on what it's like to study philosophy. These are individuals who have dedicated their academic pursuit in one way or another to engage deeply with the subject. In a world that is distasteful towards philosophy, I'm curious to see what these students have gained from choosing to study it. It was a lot of fun to do these interviews, and I truly can't express my appreciation enough for their participation in my project. So without further ado, let's meet some philosophy students.
All right. My name is Luis. I'm double majoring in theater and philosophy, politics, and law over at the University of Southern California.
My name is Debbie Barahona. I'm a biology major with a minor in philosophy at the University of Maryland.
My name is Lucas. I studied at the University of Alberta. My major was philosophy, double minored in native studies and psychology.
My name is Sue. I studied philosophy at UCLA.
Hi, my name's Ellie. I'm a communications and philosophy, politics, and economics major, and I study philosophy within my PPE major.
Nice. At UMD?
At UMD.
Cool.
Okay.
That's totally fine. It's all.
My name is Landon, and I did classes at the School of Practical Philosophy.
Yeah, so I'm Perry. I studied at Maryland, and I studied philosophy as a major, and then also I had a major in math.
What is philosophy? How would you define a discipline that seems so broad and seemingly undefinable?
Yeah, that is a really good question. Philosophers still seem to be debating this. I would consider it's many things. I would say it's thinking about things, or it's thinking kind of in its general thinking in its most basic form, but trying to think right.
What is philosophy? Honestly, I think philosophy is exploring like the difficult questions in life. So and that can range from anything to theoretical, physics, the math side of philosophy, and then also to what you think of when you think of philosophy, the trolley problem, what is ethics, what is morals. Honestly, I think philosophy just, like you were saying, encompasses a broad range of morals and ethics and unknowns.
Philosophy, I would say, is the pursuit, or at least in the class that I took, they said philosophy is the love of wisdom. Endeavor of trying to find out more about yourself and the world. All endeavors of philosophy can be summed up just trying to find out how we should live, even metaphysical questions. It does have implications on how you naturally view the world you directly see around you. Why does this exist? What is it doing? And what should I do with myself in regards to what I think it's doing?
Question 2. Why did you choose to study philosophy? And what topics in philosophy are you personally super passionate about?
I don't think I chose to study philosophy. It kind of happened in a way where philosophy was a personal hobby of mine. I didn't think it was even possible to study it realistically because I didn't even know what that would look like. It just seemed too broad of a thing to squeeze into before your undergraduate education. I went into college as a business major, and I thought, well, all of this stuff that I'm learning in the classroom seems very valuable, but I can also get this knowledge from work. Mm-hmm. And at the time I was taking a logic class, and I just loved how difficult it was. I liked the challenge of it. And so I thought I would just take another philosophy class, and I liked this book that they were teaching. I kind of just fell in love with it. I thought, well, here is a classroom of people who are interested in the same thing as me, and they bring really great things to the table. And my writing is challenged all the time. It's criticized left and right. And so I thought, okay, if I'm going to learn anything in university, it's going to be in philosophy.
Well, okay. So first off, I'm an actor, but I also direct. Right now at my university, I'm the dramaturg, which is a practical aesthetic philosophy. But what I do is help put together something so that when we put a work to the stage, then we have a better understanding not just of the world, but also of how that world impacts people. As for why I chose philosophy, politics, and law, something I'm really interested in is the philosophy of race. Kind of helps to understand a whole bunch of core aspects of philosophy. because a lot of actors, a lot of the people that I know, were really into activism, and so it helps.
I chose to study philosophy because I've always had a philosophical disposition. My upbringing was very kind of like a pedagogical, developmental, and I always kind of had like a spiritual bend, I would suppose. I had a lot of questions and experiences that I wanted to sort out. Studying philosophy just seemed like the route to go to try to provide myself with the tools to contextualize those questions and experiences, try to provide some guideposts. I was always really okay with kind of like reorienting the way that I saw the world. What became apparent and important to me was that each one of these different discourses gave me a different sense for how things hung together as a whole. There seems to be this interesting relationship between what we're studying, how we're thinking, and then how the world appears.
What tools have you gained from your philosophy classes and your degree? And how do you plan to use these tools going forward, whether that be grad school, your career aspirations, or just, anything, just life in general?
So a lot of people, for some reason, have the impression that philosophy is completely useless or completely irrelevant, I guess. A lot of people think it's just speculating about things that I guess have no answer. I don't know if I'm going to really use this skill in my career, but like I said, I think just the nuance that philosophy introduces into your entire worldview and how you parse arguments about all kinds of different things really helps ground you, whether you're talking about politics or whether you're talking about I don't know, anything. I think in that sense, philosophy will definitely help me, for the rest of my life.
Yeah, so I think I'm really grateful that I had my combination of PPE and comm, because that has helped me to have really interesting conversations in a really good way. I used to not really understand thinking differently from other people. I would always be oh yeah, I see your point, okay, and nothing else, even though I did see a different perspective. So I think it's been really nice to be able to have having a really good conversation. So that's been something that has opened my mind to. I am really interested in intercultural communication and international relations and stuff. Philosophy, you have to think very critically and you have to write thoughts down really well. So that's a skill that I'm very grateful for, because a lot of it is your thoughts on those things in a much deeper way than other classes.
Right.
It's just helped me be more open-minded and also give myself the space to think on my own.
In the public eye, philosophy is viewed as the least favorable social science. In doing these interviews, I set out to find why people would ever choose to study it. Each one of these conversations was incredibly illuminating to see the value gleaned from a philosophical education. I think many of us see the value of a college degree as only what hard skills it can provide. Whether that's coding, engineering, or something that you can put your hands on, philosophy directly challenges all of this. Instead, it asks, how should one think? How can one form a rational argument? How can we have good conversations about the most controversial topics in the world, such as politics or ethics, or the meaning of life itself? These are the skills that philosophy works to refine. They're abstract, but more important than ever. Thank you for watching my video. I hope that you enjoyed. I'd like to deliver a big thank you to all the students that participated in my project, as I would definitely not be able to do any of this without them. And I wish them all the best in their future prospects. Thank you so much.